the weight loss that we have seen. Because this all started because last Friday night, videos and photos start circulating of Tua at an event in Florida, and we're like, where's Tua? Oh, Tua's in this? Who's Tua? What? Wait, that's Tua? That's not Tua. And the issue of his weight loss has been a major talking point at the Dolphins minicamp this week. Here is both Tua from Tuesday and Mike McDaniel, the head coach of the Dolphins, from yesterday, talking about this stunning transformation of Tua Tagovailoa.
I feel better, quicker on my feet, more nimble, all of that.
What do you feel you can actually gain at that weight?
Probably extending plays more this offseason, and then, during the season, training camp, all of that. So,
we were problem solving last offseason. He went full tilt into that. That rendered some great results. There was also some residuals of unintended consequences of, the strength. And honestly, it's Tua just trying to find another level of his game and another level of being a professional. It happens to a lot of players where all of a sudden you become you become dietitians, pseudo-dietitians, several years into your career, but definitely not at the start.
There was plenty more that Mike McDaniel said, because there's always plenty more that Mike McDaniel says when any topic comes up. We have the full post at PFT. And Tua declined to talk about how much he lost. And also they said, are you still trying to lose more? And he said, hey, come back to training camp and you'll see. As I said when we talked about it on Monday, I'm not skilled to be that guy at the carnival that guesses your weight.
I'm pretty good at it. Yeah.
There's no way
Yeah.
that what we saw, well, you've got the human calipers where you can grab a leg and you can do like the fat caliper, like you know right away with your tools if you're close enough to put the Vulcan death grip on someone. But there's no way what we saw last week, if we had that video, is 227. There's no way.
No way.
He's 227.
No way at all.
I think that he's probably got to carry a gallon of milk to be above 200.
I think, what I've heard through the grapevine and things he's alluded to and we've heard, at one point, I believe last year, he was dancing around 230, if not above that, right? And again, this is not one of the bigger quarterbacks in the world. This is not a guy that's real tall and all that. It's a little bit more compact that way. 230, for somebody of his stature, that's a little much. And as we explained and we joked around a little bit and we're just having fun about his thighs rubbing together and all of that. Certainly, the look test, hey, that's part of what I do. Looking at guys, are they in shape? What's the body look like? It's what I grew up in. Right? That's how my dad taught me. It's football. Then I was in a locker room and seeing men and what they were doing and how their bodies were put together as they're getting dressed and putting a uniform on. So you kind of know what to look for, what to expect, right? How to put or guess weight of guys a little bit because of years of history of seeing guys in, similar frames and in the business altogether. But, yeah, for him, I think what you heard there, Mike McDaniel, right, unintended consequence. That was the word to me. Because, the last year was all about don't get hurt, the jiu-jitsu stuff, all of that. But obviously with that and the strength, right, the weight went up. And we saw that. And I think what, a lot of people kind of lose sight of sometimes where Tua has incredible feet, right, in the pocket. We've talked about that before. He is great that way, hopping around, moving, boom, I got to throw it and gets it out, and that's awesome. But Tua is not very fast. He is actually a below average runner for the 2024 quarterback. There's no question about that. And, that's another aspect of his game that I think he probably looks at and goes, wait, I watched tape last year and I had some plays where, there was a lane and I only got like a yard or two, trying to get out of the pocket. I should be able to get 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 there. And I think that's probably the adjustment he's trying to make in his game there. But, damn, Mike, I'm with you. I'm guessing somewhere between 200 and 210, which is what I would say. If he was 232, 231 towards the end of the last year, I'm going to say 206, 207 right now, which is, not a lot of weight for a smaller guy in the quarterback position, that's for sure.
And I guess that's really the way to look at it, not where he started and where he is, but he looks like he's lost 25 pounds, not 10 or 15.
Right.
noticeably thinner, dramatically thinner, and 25 is usually the number that makes people say, damn, what? Did you do something different?
Well,
Something
yeah,
different about you. I don't know what it is.
Doesn't.
You don't look like the same person.
What do you think the fact is that he doesn't like? Most football players. I mean, again, these aren't like. This isn't like grandma who how dare you ask me how much I weigh? That's so private to me, right? Or your mom, or anybody like that.
Yeah.
You know how it is. I mean, football players. It's like, well, we don't get. So the fact that he doesn't even want to tell you tells you that at some point it got weird, or it's weird right now, or he was so heavy at the end of last year that he doesn't want to tell you that number. There's something there, because again, what football players don't care about telling their weight. They're not worried. They're not worried about being judged or something like that. So there's one where it's odd, but he is worried about being judged, because I think there's probably a number, whether it was then or now, that he doesn't like saying out loud that he feels like is going to be used against him. And, I think that's what we're seeing right now.
I just think what happened, it's as simple as this. In the aftermath of 2022, when he had the multiple concussions,
right,
and it was all about getting him to a point where he could suit up for every game in 2023, which worked. It wasn't just the how do you fall down and avoid hitting your head on the ground. It's you need to be bigger. And I think he gets things in his head, and plenty of us are like that. You get something in your head, you become a little obsessed with it, and this is what you're going to do.
That's
so
right.
Last year,
right.
I'm going to train
Yep.
on how to fall.
Bulk up.
I'm going to learn how to avoid and I'm going to bulk up.
Right.
I'm going to bulk up. Give me my French fries, give me my milkshake, give me my pizza, and I'm going to bulk up. And it kind of went haywire. And now this year, I'm going to slim down. And it kind of went haywire. And I think that happens to a lot of us. We get something in our head, we don't let it go, and we push it too far. And he may have pushed it too far last year, ended up looking like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and now he's pushed it too far this year. And there's a middle ground there somewhere. And I think, all talk aside, and he had Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill both kind of cracking jokes at their press conferences on Tuesday.
Which tells you something a little.
6 weeks to find the right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but you got 6 weeks to find the middle ground.
Right.
And I don't know that gaining 10 pounds over 6 weeks is going to be good for him going into training camp, but you still have a chance before the grind begins to get yourself to a spot where it's just right.
Yeah.
Right? Too big, too small, just right. And you don't want just right to be next year. You want just right to be there before this year starts.
Yeah, that's and yeah, he should have the time to be able to tinker with that and get to where he wants. And yeah, it does look a little too skinny for me right now. Now it's on the player to be at a spot where they feel comfortable and all of that. But as we know, still, hey, yeah, we all want him to move better and do that type of stuff, sure. But ultimately too, we want him to protect himself. There's no doubt about that. But obviously, even with the joking, right? There was obviously a thought in that locker room last year that, whoa, he's thick, right? I mean, we saw the clip the other day with Tyreek talking about it and bringing up Ryan Clark's comments last year that Tua got annoyed with and shot back at him in a press conference. And Tyreek addressed it, basically brought it up again a little bit. So obviously there was guys in the locker room going, man, Tua's thick. Whoa, Tua's got a little thickness to him. And then I'm sure Tua felt that, and he felt like he couldn't move the way in the same capacity. But, yeah, finding that balance again, because he's still got to protect himself. He is still small. We know that. And hopefully in the next 5-6 weeks, he can put on a few pounds and make it, like we talked about, good weight, right? Weight that you go, hey, that's all muscle right there, right? And it will, stay there as long as you train and eat right, but you got to stay dedicated to your formula. Right? What happens so much is you go into training camp and slowly but surely as the year goes on, right? Guys are, I don't care. I'm beat up from the year. It's week 6. I'm going to eat French fries and a hot dog and burger and, I'm going to stuff my face with a pint of ice cream on a Thursday night, right? And some guys lose their way. I mean, listen, I've been there too. I'm not trying to say I was above that. But, you get exhausted from staying on it all the time, being like Brady, being like McCaffrey, like we've talked about. We'll see if he can do that. But, yeah, this is big. And his mobility, he needs to be more mobile. There's no doubt that's an aspect of his game that needs to improve.
We had played some of the stuff Tyreek Hill said. Jalen Waddle said this on Tuesday. I miss chubby Tua. Right.
Man.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't like it when I saw him. I told him I'm not effing with it. I told him straight up, I'm not effing with it. Eat something, man. Eat something. And when McDaniel talked about it yesterday, and you really have to be committed to focusing on all the words because there's a lot more words there than needs to be. And I love Mike McDaniel, but someone needs to give him.
He's a filibuster. If anybody in the Congress needs a filibuster, they should hire
a little
McDaniel.
more concise.
Right.
Concise. Get to the point. Get to the point, Mike. Get to the point. He said at one point yesterday, we'll see how he does at read option, and if he's trying to be an option quarterback, how svelte is svelte. And we will see what he does. And svelte sounds exotic. He's skinny. He ain't svelte. He's skinny. And he's too skinny to survive the physical demands of playing quarterback in the NFL, especially if he's going to be taking hits. And if he's going to be running the option and not flipping the ball, he's going to take some hits from some big, strong guys who weigh a lot more than he does.
Yeah.
And I feel like they just can't get the needle where it needs to be.
Right.
It goes from too far this way to too far this way, and they got to get it right dead center. And hey, maybe one of the reasons that he's off gets back to his contract. He's clearly anxious. He's clearly irritated. He's doing everything he can to try to get them to give him the contract he wants, and it may be he's just doing
stressed
too
out.
much. He's trying too hard.
Right.
Somebody said to him, I assume somebody from the team said to him, we got to work on the weight this year. Fine, I'm going to go. I'm going to lose 50 pounds. I mean, you want me to lose weight? I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to show you I can do whatever you want me to do. When am I going to get my contract? And I'm not criticizing him. I'd probably do the same thing if I was him.
No, I hear you. You're right. I mean, coaches say things. You want to be a pleaser. You want your job. You want to be great for the team. You take things like that to heart, right? I mean, that's definite. I mean, John Gruden said things to me, and I, was like, oh yeah, I don't know why. Why did I break up with my wife? I need to get back together with her. And he would be on me like that, like with life stuff, and I'd be like, yeah, Mo, I'd think about it and all of that. I mean, yeah, that happens. You want to please your master, your head coach that way. The team, you want to be the best possible, let alone, like you're saying, he's got the contract situation. I do think, right, where I look at Tua and going through my quarterback rankings, that's where I always like this because I get to watch him a few times again, and it gives me some different perspective and thoughts, right? Mobility will bring his game to another level, right? Because think about it this way with Tua. Now, again, Mike, the big thing is, mobility helps, but can he protect himself and that fine line like you're talking about? Totally agree. But where I do look at it to be kind of paramount for him and his game, right? We've talked about Tua a lot. He's a point guard, right? It's short, quick passes, wheel and deal, boom, 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 right here. That's where he's great, right? But as we see, as the season goes along and he plays better teams, they're not worried about downfield all that much, right? We don't have to worry about behind us. He's not going to throw a 70-yard bomb over our head. So to me, the next move then is I don't think his arm's going to get noticeably stronger to where all of a sudden those things are going to happen. The next thing is, wait, boom, boom. Oh, wait, they're not open. Boom, I run for 7 or 8 yards. Like think of like Steve Young when he was mastering the West Coast offense there for a little while, right? Kind of like that, where it's like, okay, maybe they're not stretching the field with routes, but he's so precise and quick with decisions and all that. And every now and then it gets covered and we go, yeah, we played great defense. And damn, the guy still scrambled for 7 or 8. On a play where we felt like we win. And that's where he could add some value to his game and that offense altogether, and hopefully that's where his mind is.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.